Here we are. We're on. We're on. You know what? Every once in a while, fuck. I'm happy. Why, you ask? Well, I just realized, Kara pointed out to me, that we've got people that are talking to each other and asking each other questions. There you go. Myron, I think it was, right? There you go, Myron. Who's the other, John? Brian and Myron. Damn, guys, that's it. Hey, we're starting to make a difference. That's good. Shit. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today, Kara?
A calorie is a calorie.
Okay, there's been some debate about a calorie being a calorie. Look, your body does not know the difference between, except for feeling better. Let me put it this way. As far as how it responds, your body doesn't really know the difference between a clean calorie and a, let's call it a junk calorie. Let's just put it that way. I know there's going to be a lot of, a lot of people out there are going to say I'm full of shit, and I am, and that's okay. But your body doesn't really know that. It's just all food does is generate heat, produce heat in your body. I would say, if you want to feel better, maybe clean up your diet. But as far as calories, calorie in, calorie out. Listen, here's one thing that maybe some of you know. In the bodybuilding world, especially when you're carrying more weight, more muscle, you have to eat what would be considered a junk food type of diet. Not completely, but you have to eat calorie-dense foods in order to be able to put on muscle. So it's not a bad thing. Calories are not a bad thing necessarily. One calorie or one, being better than the other. Calorie is a calorie. Just count calories and you'll see your body will respond in pretty much the exact same way. Your body's in a constant flux, so it's hard to really determine when you're testing this theory out. But I can tell you from all the years of doing this, we naturally clean up our diet, especially when we're pre-contesting. And again, it really depends on what your specific goal is. Any of you guys that are out there know that when you're in an off-season type of mode to put on muscle mass, you can eat as clean as you want, but if you can't get enough calories in, you're not going to put on muscle. Calories a calorie. Let's just leave it at that. Yeah, and one more thing. It really depends on the individual. Some people can't tolerate, for example, some people can't tolerate a high-fat diet. Some can, some can't. So it's not, what I'm saying is not 100% across the board, but nothing ever is.
Your favorite abdominal exercises and how often are they performed?
I think that, again, I don't think too many things change. Working your abs a couple times a week, it's just like another body part. If you train your abs too much, it's a muscle. It's going to grow. If you're that person that has underdeveloped abs to begin with, then you might want to do more than what I'm telling you. Otherwise, look, your abs are involved, your core is involved when you're doing training, especially if you're intense. Your core is always involved, and it's developing those abs. But I would say no more than 2 times a week. The ones that have always been kind of a favorite have been doing abs off of a decline bench. And again, you have to be careful that you don't go back too far, so it bothers your back. You go back a little bit, just enough, and then it engages the abs. Always have liked that one, and I've always liked where you do from a tricep push down. When you're doing a tricep push down, get on your knees, put the rope behind your back of your head, and then just simply up and down, making sure that you're not pulling with your arms. Your hands are right here behind your head, and as you're pulling with your abdominals. So be careful that you're not pulling with your arms. That's always been a good one. And of course, you can add things like twisting every time that you do it. There's no magic when it comes to the abdominals. I like those too, but I also like doing a bicycle crunch where you're lying on your back on the bench. You put your hands behind your head, and real tightly you bring your right knee in, for example. Left elbow goes across the body, and you do tight bicycle crunches. That would hit more of the upper part of the ab, and then if you really straighten your legs way out, and you did like a leg lift, that would engage more of the lower abs. But I just say keep it simple. The decline bench with a little bit of weight, feel what you train, and then like I said, with the tricep push down rope on your knees and doing some crunches. Very simple stuff. Don't make it overcomplicated.
Most severe injuries, and how have you adjusted or compromised?
I had a couple of major injuries. One was the 10 days out, and this happened a couple times. 10 days out, I was doing a deadlift, and I was 10 days out from a show, I should say. I was lean, and your body at that state is really exposed, because at that point when you're pre-contesting, you're pretty extreme. You're really out there. Your body's exposed to injuries. And so I popped a hamstring 10 days out before I competed it was the men's nationals. It was the old guys nationals that I went to. Fortunately, what I did in order to be able to compete, I never stopped. I don't think you should ever stop training even an injured body part. You got to switch the strategy more to active recovery, but the worst thing that you can do is just not train it at all. I did active recovery, and just because of the fact that I was 10 days out, it really didn't impact me on stage, and but it did impact me as far as training was concerned. And for some reason, that was the one. I did a lot of heavy deadlifting, so obviously something's got to give sometimes, and it was my hamstring. But my major one, of course, was when I had my 3 strokes. Now that was an injury. I mean, you talk about major injury. That was a full body assault, and that was a close one, man. I wasn't really sure what was going to happen, because when you're paralyzed, you don't know. And then but I knew it again. It's that 21-day rule. I knew. Like my arm was paralyzed, and I had to have my wife actually sit alongside me, and I had her just raise my hand. I don't know if you guys have heard the story, like I'm doing a curl. I wasn't doing it. She was. What I was doing, because the mind links to the muscle, and this is when I got full hand, up close and personal proof that actually does exist. Sometimes when you tell somebody the mind links to the muscle, hey, as a bodybuilder, we just believe in blind faith, and hope for the best. But I actually saw it happen. And then when the Bulgarian said it takes 21 days for your body to start adapting to an environment, I just thought about that. So when she was helping me do my curl, I didn't feel anything. All I did was look at the arm when it was she was doing that every single day. And here's when I knew I had a chance. Around 21 days, it could have been 23 days, I could feel energy traveling from my brain down my body. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm telling you the truth. It happened. And then I could just feel the energy going down my arm more and more. And I knew that one day I got up, I told her, you do not have to help me. Have you ever felt sometimes when you just know something is right, or the absolute certainty, it's instinctive? And that day is like it connected. All of a sudden I can move my arm. It wasn't worth a damn, but what that told me is my physiology was acting normal. The rest was left up to me. Now it was just time and persistence, and dealing with it's never going fast enough. Doesn't that sound kind of the same as when we're bodybuilding? We want it faster and faster, but guess what? True power, muscle, call it what you want, takes time. It takes a long time. You got to stay in the game. And so I really learned something from my strokes that I had, because I got back. I got back to where I'm training again, and it's a beautiful thing. So injuries, sometimes we think that an injury is a bad injury, and it turns out to be something that has a silver lining.
If on a budget, what is the best supplement you would use to build muscle and keep your immune system strong?
I would say protein powder.
Besides protein, though?
Besides protein, a supplement that builds muscle, protein.
So just as in only get protein, if you can only get one thing, get protein.
Protein. Okay. Yeah.
And why is that? Why not amino acids?
That's protein. Your body is made of 100% protein. Everything in your body is made of protein.
So either an amino acid,
Amino acid
or
is protein.
a protein shake.
It's the amino acid is broken down version of a protein shake.
Mm-hmm.
Protein. Amino acids is good. A full spectrum amino acid would be better than a BCCA. Protein. Protein, protein, protein.
The benefits of fasting when it comes to building muscle.
I think that there's some health benefits to fasting. I've done it, intermittent fasting. It's like 12 to 16 hours or 18 hours, whatever. And I think that it has some benefits. But I would tell you this, as it relates to putting on muscle, is that what you're saying? Mm-hmm. As it relates to putting on muscle, I think there's a better way. I think that, and I've been talking to you guys a little bit about this on these lives about lockdown weight loss system. Even though the intermittent fasting has health benefits, it's not shocking the body enough to really improve muscle gain or body fat loss. When you're doing this lockdown weight loss system, I originally developed it just for somebody who wants to knock off a lot of weight in a short period of time. And in that short period of time, making sure that we don't sacrifice too much lean weight. Because make no mistake, guys, there's nothing that you can do especially when you're dropping weight, there's nothing that you can do where you're only going to lose body fat. In the ideal world, I would say if I had my druthers, forget the weight. I would just focus on inches. But that's not the real world. Now, as it relates to the question, if you want to get better results, faster results in both weight loss and muscle gaining, you have to shock the piss out of your body early on. And that's the reason why on this lockdown weight loss, in the first 2 weeks, I hammer people on their metabolism. It's aggressive. These are all techniques and tactics that a bodybuilder uses. My thing that I'm talking about is a 6-week program, but it's also longer than that. But the first 6 weeks are like the last sort of 6 weeks as a bodybuilder is coming into a show. You're having to trick your body the whole time because you're so lean that your body doesn't want to move no matter what you do. And yet we still get results in those 6 weeks. All I did was take that information and put it into a weight loss program. So here's my point. You need to shock the shit out of your metabolism, especially in the first 2 weeks. What that does is that causes your body to go into fight or flight. Now, this fight or flight that I'm talking about is not dangerous. Now, if I was doing this for 6 weeks, that's a different story. Everything has to be done for a reason. So it's just like protein starvation. If you want your body to assimilate more protein, then you have to take it away. In this lockdown weight loss, it's similar to that approach. We shock the body so hard, we take calories away from you for 2 weeks. It's ultra low calories, just food and water, guys. Ultra low calories. We hammer you the first 2 weeks. Your body is now, growth hormone is being released because your body is perceiving a threat. All of your senses wake up. Your metabolism wakes up. Those 2 weeks are setting you up now for the rest of your program. Now, when you transition, again, we're talking about putting on muscle. When I've taken most people in the first 2 weeks, they lose 10 pounds in 14 days or sooner. Actually, 10 pounds in 12 days and 4 inches. It's not all fat weight, but it never is. But we're not there so long that it destroys the purpose that we're trying to ultimately get, which is building muscle. We transition out of that into the next 4 weeks. That's metabolism rebuilding. We've now shocked the piss out of your body. It's awake. It ramps up. As you go into those next 4 weeks, we start increasing caloric intake in a certain way. I call that caloric sequencing. It's done in a certain way, and manipulating water. So here's the bottom line. We increase the calories as we go along. Your metabolism now is on fire. Your metabolism now is accepting a lot more of everything. Calories, protein, guess what that does? As your caloric intake keeps going up. Number one, the the body fat that you lost in the first 2 weeks, I mean the lean weight that you lost in the first 2 weeks, that comes back first when you start increasing calories, not body fat. Your body will put that right back on. So now what you've done is you've gotten rid of body fat, and now you're putting on muscle. The relationship between muscle and body fat increases, which is what you want. You want more muscle and less body fat. We know that protein or muscle is very metabolic. It's burning heat. Now you've made yourself really efficient. On this program, you'll be so efficient that it's hard to keep up with your metabolism, even as we're increasing the caloric intake. It's a beautiful thing. At the end of the day, that's how you build muscle fast. That's the trick right there. And it's done in a way that it doesn't destroy where you're losing so much lean weight. Again, I want to remind you, it's impossible just to lose lean weight, just like it's impossible to put just straight muscle on. It's knowing how to do this in a way where the relationship of how much muscle or how much body fat that you lose, that's what we're looking for, that relationship. So I prefer to do something like that because it's more immediate than intermittent fasting as it relates to the stated goal of putting on muscle. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That felt good. Anyway, well, listen, guys, I think that's it for today. If you have any more questions, we're going to do this again on Thursday, next Thursday. In the meantime, let's pass information forward. I like the fact that Myron and Brian have been talking to each other. Love seeing that. Let's do more of that. Let's bring other people on and pass information forward. This is all good stuff, and I'm trying to talk about things that are not so much talked about in the industry. I think that's where it's at. I think that's where the real information is. So until next time, guys, go get serious growth. Look, be enthusiastic. Never stop learning. Make sure that you're embracing the emotional and physical pain of all this. It's an important thing to do. Without it, you can't possibly make the kind of results that you want. And knowing how to do little things like this that we're talking about, how to really understand how to manipulate macros, how to really understand how to manipulate your metabolism to where you get to a point where you can change your body at will. Normally it takes a long time. Somebody like me who's done it, or somebody else who has my kind of first-hand experience in the trenches, we can shorten your learning curve up. It's up to you to take the next steps. Until next time, guys, get serious growth.